If you have ever experienced depression, you know that this feeling is affecting your life in a huge way, and you probably want to make it better. So I'm going to talk to you about 5 actions, behaviors, aspects of your life that you may be participating in or doing that are only making your depression worse, and what you can do to change them to help yourself improve your feelings of depression. Welcome to Psychology Pop. I'm Elena Dunn, licensed professional counselor, and I'm here to provide you with education, information, inspiration, and hopefully we'll have a little bit of fun too. If you feel like you are in need of a therapist, please be sure to always check the description in my videos where you will find resources to help you get started in finding and reaching out to a therapist. So let's talk about the 5 things that make depression worse. And I like to explain what I mean by make depression worse. Whether you have diagnosed clinical depression or you feel like you are depressed, all of these things that I'm about to go over with you will only make those feelings worse. The first thing that will absolutely make your depression worse is drinking alcohol. Alcohol is a depressant. The actual chemical alcohol itself actually makes you feel depressed because it is a depressant. So you may have an enjoyable night or your feelings may be lifted for a moment when you're drinking, but when you wake up the next morning, the chemical has taken an effect that is now aiding in you feeling more down, less energy, less motivated, even tired, which only increases the intensity and even frequency of your feelings of depression. To not have alcohol affect you in a way that makes your depression worse, first start by at least drinking less. If you know that you are drinking a glass of alcohol every night, then work on reducing the frequency of the number of days during a week that you drink alcohol. You can even work on only drinking alcohol on the weekend when you know that you have time to sleep in a little bit or even recover. And the best is to not drink alcohol at all. If you don't drink alcohol at all, then you won't have that chemical in your system adding to your feelings of depression, making your feelings worse. The second thing that will make feelings of depression worse are eating simple carbohydrates. These are things such as processed sugar and syrups. Yes, that white table sugar. So many foods are made with table sugar and different types of syrup. So when you reduce these foods, even reduce them greatly, you will notice that you feel better. And the reason why is because simple carbs give us a boost of energy for a very short period of time, and then we have a crash. Our system experiences a crash as our body utilizes those simple sugars as glucose as a way to provide just a short burst of energy. That's why people like energy drinks. They have a lot of sugar. And have you noticed that people who drink energy drinks, they usually don't drink just one, do they? Because they need to keep getting that burst of energy because they experienced the crash not too long after they finished that energy drink. Focus instead on complex carbohydrates because our body takes a long time to digest complex carbohydrates. And in taking a long time to digest those complex carbohydrates, our body is able to use that food to maintain energy for longer periods of time without the crash. When you're already feeling down because you are feeling symptoms of depression or maybe even have clinical depression, it definitely doesn't help you to eat something that's only going to add to feeling down by giving you that crash feeling after you've consumed simple carbohydrates. So work on cutting those down or even cutting them out altogether. The third thing that only makes depression worse is inactivity. And I know this can be a hard one when you are experiencing clinical depression, especially moderate or even severe clinical depression. You may just only have the energy to lay in the bed all day or even lay on the couch all the time. So I do know that this one can be hard. However, if you can just muster up the effort to get up out of the bed or get up off of the couch and walk into another room and just stand in that room for even 5 minutes before you walk back into the previous room that you were in where you may have been laying in the bed or laying on the couch, that is activity. And I know it sounds simple, but when you are dealing with moderate or severe depression, that can be a lot. But if you can get yourself to do it and focus on Doing it this one day, you'll probably do it again, maybe not the next day, but the day after. And then you look back and you realize that you've done that for several days over the course of the last week. Now, because you got up and just simply walked into another room and stood up in that room for 5 minutes, you found yourself also engaging in other very simple activities so that you wouldn't be inactive all the time. You may like sweeping, but don't think about sweeping the whole house. Just think about sweeping a small room, or if your rooms are big, you can sweep a portion of that room. But sweeping is an activity which is going to help to minimize the amount of inactivity that happens when you are feeling depressed. Find the effort to just get up and move, and every time you do that, you will likely find the effort to do it again, and gradually you'll begin to do it more and more as you feel the benefits of just getting up and moving. Who knows? Maybe you'll even work up to going for a walk outside and walk a mile around your neighborhood. That would be awesome, and I believe that you'll feel so much better when you get to that point. The fourth thing that only makes depression worse is living in a space where there is absolutely no natural light. I have had this situation so many times with clients that I've worked with in psychotherapy who were experiencing clinical depression. Because I do telehealth, I have the opportunity to be able to see them in their environment. And if I don't see any windows, oftentimes I will ask them to take their laptop or their smartphone and walk around the house. And I notice that they live in a type of apartment or even a home that doesn't have very many windows. And if they do have windows, there's very little natural light coming in. So when they change their space to be able to have natural light coming in regularly throughout the day, that natural light has a physiological effect because of vitamin D that helps to lift a person's mood. Especially if you can get natural light waking you up in the morning, because your windows are open in a way that natural light is coming in as the sun rises in the morning. You'll find that that actually helps you to be able to get out of bed in the morning and waking up feeling more rested. Walking around your house all day in a dark house with no natural light, even if you do get up in the morning, it can still lead you to feeling pretty low most of the time. So find a way to have natural light coming into your living space regularly. The natural vitamin D and the sensory stimulation from the light will help you to feel better. Before I move on, I want to say, please don't try to do all of these at once. I know I'm talking about 5 things that only make depression worse and what you can do about them. Don't try them all at once. Try one thing, see how that works for you in feeling better, and then try the next thing. You can try one thing, build on to the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing, and work up to doing all 5 as you begin to feel yourself lifting out of your feeling of depression. I also want to give you a little bit something more to help describe what depression means, a definition that I came up with that I find describes what is most always going on with the person when they are experiencing depression. However, before I get to that definition, I want to tell you the 5th thing that makes depression worse: not taking a shower. Now remember, I'm a psychotherapist, so I've heard a lot of things. So when I use some of the examples, what I may describe may sound extreme to you, but I'm using these examples because it's something that I've commonly heard, such as you may not have taken a shower for an entire month. That does not feel good. But I know the reason that you haven't taken a shower is because you are feeling low. You are feeling down with low or no motivation in normal daily activities, because those normal activities just feel like a lot. They feel like a lot of effort you got to put forth to get them done. And even just thinking about doing them can feel exhausting, which is why you may not have taken a shower in a month. So think about this. Break down the steps of taking a shower. And if you want to learn more about breaking down those steps in a way that works for you, be sure to watch the video that I'm putting up in the little clip card up here about how to make tasks a part of a routine. So even when you're thinking about shower, break it down into small tasks. Don't think about the end result of having to take a shower, because your mind will get so caught up in all the steps that it takes to actually complete the shower to the point that you have your clean clothes on. It will just seem like a lot. So start by only thinking about the first step. And when you take that first step, then you do the next step, then the next step, then the next step. And before you know it, you're in the shower. Before you know it, you've completed your shower, and now you're out of the shower. You're ready to put on all your lotions, your aromatherapy, your butters, the things that you know when you were feeling good, they helped you to feel good. So start with getting up out of the bed, walking to the bathroom, walking over to the shower, and turning the hot water on and letting the water get hot. Or maybe that's just at my house, because we have to turn the water on and let it run for about 2 minutes before it gets hot. Yeah, I know it's a problem, but that's what it is. And then you go on to the next step, whatever the next step is for you. But the reason why I stopped right there is because I want to drive home the point of only thinking about it step by step, and not the overwhelming feeling of having to get in and take a full shower and all that you feel like that entails, which has kept you from doing it for an entire month because you just don't have the energy. And with depression, you truly don't. So focusing on the effort, the little bitty steps, can help you to get it done. The reason why I saved this one for last is because taking a shower does so much in improving how you feel when you are feeling depressed. Showering, it hits all of our senses. It has sound, it has smell, it has touch, it has taste even. When you wash your face and you taste the water going into your mouth. You heard me talking about how to break down those steps to taking a shower into small baby steps so that taking a shower doesn't feel so overwhelming. You remember that example I used? Well, check out this video. I talk more about how to break activities and tasks down into baby steps. I think you'll find it really helpful, even when it comes to such activities as taking a shower. Now, as I said earlier, I want to share a definition of depression that I have found to be true no matter who the person is that is dealing with depression, even clinical depression. Depression happens when we keep trying to see a situation for something other than what it truly is. We keep trying to convince ourselves that what we are seeing and experiencing is not the actual truth. For example, we keep trying to see the dynamics of a relationship for something other than what it truly is. We keep trying to see our work situation, our work environment for something other than what it truly is. And what it truly is something that is probably not good for us. It's something that's hurting us in our mind, our heart, and our spirit. But we keep trying to convince ourselves that what we are seeing and experiencing is not actually true. It's kind of like we see the sky is blue, but we keep trying to convince ourselves that it's glitter, rhinestones, and bling. As long as you keep trying to convince yourself that it's glitter, rhinestones, and bling, and not a blue sky, even when others around you are referring to it as a blue sky, when you hear that, you look up, you see blue, but you're like, no way, it's glitter, rhinestones, and bling, and that's all I'm gonna choose to believe right now. But everything that you're taking in, the truth, is not in line what you want to believe. When we start to see things as they truly are, that helps us to start to come out of our depression and eventually get to a point where we are feeling and functioning better. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, if you would just press that like button, and also leave me a comment if you want to say anything about something you learned in this video today. All right, keep it poppin', y'all. Bye. Showering hits all of our showering. Natural light coming in regularly. Natural light coming in regularly. Showering hits natural light coming in. So let's